I would like my force to have more punch if I want to punch a man in the face. And hopefully no crazy world news has happened, and then you're like, how did Brinly not mention that it happened? Let's hope. Holy chopped, guys, because that's what I am. Last week, in my video, I was wearing curlers and no makeup. And actually, I think I was wearing makeup. I think I had my makeup pre-done. I don't even know. But my favorite comment I've ever got to date, holy chopped, about me, because I guess my hair was in curlers, and men expect women to have, naturally curly hair if their hair is curled. And I know some fucking man with his hand, like, fist deep in cheesy poos, just guzzling them in his mouth, like, typed that on his keyboard. And the only hot thing he's ever touched is his own penis. Like, dog, just the expectations, we're gonna deep dive this week on, like, the expectations of women's bodies. That was the sound I needed to let out. Guys, my life has been wholly chopped recently. My life, that's why I missed uploading for a week. The video that went out last week, I actually filmed 2 weeks ago. That's why, and because so much was going on. I have way too much going on. The energy sucks right now. I think we're all really feeling that energy. That February 20th energy, if you watch the astrology podcast, Cole was speaking on the fact that around that time, shit was gonna get fucked, and literally that day, fucked my shit. Entire dynamic of my house completely changed. Oh my gosh. Like, I went through, like, a social event that made me reframe how I literally think about, like, everyone within my circle dynamic that I interact with regularly. Oh my gosh, guys, I just have a lot to talk about this week. My brain has been on fire. Hi, nice to speak to you all. My brain's been on fire. I'm addicted to Fortnite, and I'm Brinly. I'm your host. I forgot to say that. Welcome to the Yapathon. So we'll start with the good news, because I always start with good news. In my own personal good news, look at these boots that I bought. Oh my gosh, guys. I got these at a thrift store, but they were brand new. And they're pretty expensive from what I saw online, but I got them for $40. And I look like Draculaura from Monster High. Oh my gosh. Also, my hair, I did like, I remember Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That was like my favorite movie as a kid. And now, like, thinking about all the stuff that I'm into, like the Backrooms, which I'm going to speak on this episode, like, Shark Boy and Lava Girl is one of my favorite movies, and it was literally, like, dreamcore and weird. I need to rewatch that movie. That movie's heat. Like, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, like, I remember being a kid and watching that movie and being like, I want what Shark Boy and, like, Lava Girl have. Like, I had such a crush on, like, baby Taylor Lautner when I was a kid. Like, I was like, one of the only, like, guys I can think about I had a crush on when I was a little kid. Like, when I was a little girl, I had a crush on 2 people. 2 men. Okay? Lots of women, but 2 men. I liked Sporticus from Lazy Town, the pink hair. It's all coming back around. Sporticus from Lazy Town. Okay? I had a crush on him when I was, like, really little. And I would tell people that we were married. I'd be like, I'm married. And they'd be like, to who? I'd be like, to Sporticus from Lazy Town. That man was fit. He was doing flips. Like... That man was just Benson Boone. No! I'm not sexually attracted to Benson Boone. I don't misinterpret that. And anyways, what the fuck? Yeah, I had a crush on Sporticus from Lazy Town and Shark Boy from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And you can see, like, in both of those case scenarios, main female character has pink hair. So clearly this was destiny. So I'm happy about my hair, I'm happy about my shoes, and I don't think I look wholly chopped. I think I'm probably one of the prettiest women that you've all ever seen. I mean, right? I mean, like, yeah, I was thinking it too, and I'm so glad you guys were thinking it as well. So oh my gosh, like, I literally already, before I saw that comment, had a whole segment I want to talk about this week about just how I think a lot of women are viewing their bodies right now because of the les files. That was like French for the files, if you guys didn't get that. And I think my French accent's wholly chopped. And what pisses me off is that it's so fucking funny. I'm gonna be fucking saying that forever. Thank you for the new vocal stim. Like, instead of holy cow, like, or holy shit, holy cow. What the? I'm gonna be like, holy chopped. It's hilarious. It's so funny. I'm sorry, a gay person wrote that. You wrote that, you're gay. Congratulations. But I'm sick of men who have literally never touched a woman in their whole life. This comes from just the shit happening in the files that is being dropped. It's coming from... Okay, let's talk about a good news of the week is that women dominated the Olympics for 60% of the gold medals won for America. 60% of it, over 60% were women who won it. Okay? That's what I'm talking about! And that's what I'm talking about, ladies. I love woke too. I fucking love woke 2. Woke 2 is some of the most fun I've ever had in my whole life, okay? Because in woke 1, I was a kid, and people around me had the ability to be like, shut the fuck up, and then I'd have to shut up a little bit. Certainly I didn't, but certainly I shut up more than I did now. And now it's woke 2. And I've waited for woke 2 my whole life, and I'm gonna be a menace. I started woke 2 early when I cut off my aunt and my uncle a while back. And I don't know if I told that story. We're not going to get into that story, but I cut them off for being pieces of shit. And y'all can watch this, and I think you're pieces of shit. I don't care. They say, Brinly stirring the pot. She's so hateful. Well, I think you're wholly chopped. God, in woke 2, I just don't care anymore. Like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to say whatever I want. I'm going to say whatever I want in woke 2, and I think you all should as well. I love woke 2. So in woke 2, 60% of the medals won were by female athletes, which is so exciting, historic, and iconic. And of course, I'm locked into everything happening with Alyssa Liu. She is an icon. I think her anime hot takes about Attack on Titan, girl, they're not it. However, everything else about her is fucking awesome. I'm so happy to have a cultural icon who is speaking in the same brain rot that I'm speaking in. I'm obsessed with her. I heard that she might get a Fortnite skin. Trust, I will be buying that. I got 1,000 V-Bucks today, okay, with my battle pass. Trust. She's awesome, but that kind of goes into the whole conversation about what's happening about women's bodies right now, of like, I don't know if any of you guys are also locked into these, these Twitter threads of like, there was a photo of Alyssa Liu with her medal, and some man had commented something like, are we really gonna pretend like this isn't, like, goon baiting? And then, like, other men on multiple different, like, female athletes, like, of them winning gold medals, being like, she looks like she does porn. And I'm just, oh my gosh, that whole thing has been ticking me off so bad. Because all I fucking want is to celebrate these women. I mean, I don't do sports, but I love a competition. I love competitiveness. I'm not one for watching sports much. I've always loved figure skating, so figure skating is, during the Winter Olympics, it's the only thing I lock into because it's like ballet, and I have done ballet, so I appreciate it. So, I'm so sick, because like with a man, you would never see those comments. You would just be like, oh, like, if they were breaking records, it would just be about their records, and this little side conversation wouldn't be happening about them at all. And it's just really exposed, just like, the porn industry is so fucking bad for women as a net whole, and like, I'm happy that women can support themselves off of it, like, OnlyFans, stuff like that. If you run your own thing, like, I'm very much for, like, that type of empowerment. If it's, like, if the woman is dictating the type of content she's making, she has creative control over it. But it's, like, this bullshit that, like, women get forced into, and like they don't have control over this super degrading content, and then it just like literally has shaped the way men interact with women in such a toxic manner that it's just like seeing like a woman just be like in her element and happy and joyful, like just the need that men have to rip that away from them and objectify them is just so fucking disgusting. And that then goes into like, I think something I was talking about on my TikTok that I said I was going to talk about this week is like a lot of women right now are talking about like with how all the information that's coming out and basically about how in the files we know it's so interconnected with like all these different modeling agencies and these acting agencies, and it's everywhere. Like, you know, like this was just everywhere in the industry. And so I think we're all collectively thinking about how like the trickle down effect of, you know, like, right, if you think about it, is like, okay, men are inherently submissive. They are. Men submit to the top dog in the room the second the top dog walks in, and they want to be like, oh, da-da-da-da. But, like, if they feel like a man's more powerful for them, it doesn't even matter if that man, like, meets their quota and standard of, like, what masculinity is. Because they preach a certain type of masculinity, but Lord knows they don't adhere to it. Like, they have exceptions for everything, and they have this fake idea of masculinity that they themselves don't even adhere to. And whoever is just the most powerful in the room, whoever has the most money, they bend the knee. That's what men do. So if you think about it, at the very, very top, you have, like, the very top of society, the men with the most power, and they're all pedophiles. The men below them bend the knee and then normalize that, and then they behave also in disgusting ways. Like, maybe they aren't pedophiles, but they're definitely, like, rapist. And then, you know, they have the men who work below them, and maybe they're not rapists, but, you know, they still, like, they're still, like, sexual assaulters in, like, a different manner. And then the men who work under them, they don't sexually assault women, but they do verbally harass them and bully them online. And then you have the men below them who, you know, maybe don't verbally harass women, but, like, they're not kind women, they speak to women like they're stupid, and so, like, it keeps going down. You know, like, it's, like, trickle-down economics doesn't happen in the economy, it happens with male behavior. And so, because sorry, I keep grabbing my nose, but, like, I feel like I can feel my fucking face. I don't fucking know, guys. I hit the bong before I fucking started this podcast. I'm sorry. I've had a fucking week. God, me, when I'm talking about, like, sexual predator trickle-down economics, because that's what society is. Like, I think we're all coming to, like, understand that. And so, like, we normalize, like, normal shitty man behavior. So, you know, if someone is just, like, a serial cheater on their partner, you know, the other woman is consenting who he's cheating on her with, and, like, he just cheats on his partner over and over again, right? It's, like, that is seen, like, it's still seen as bad. That's a bad thing. Like, society largely is, like, you know, wants to be like, you shouldn't do that. But it's not seen as, like, an evil thing for some reason. If you're a serial cheater, you're fucking evil and despicable, especially if you're with the same woman. Like, if you serial cheat on a woman you've been with for 10 plus years, like, and she doesn't know, or you know, like, she's caught you multiple times and she's begged you not to do it again and you still do it, like, you're an evil fucking piece of shit. Like, you're a loser dog. And that type of behavior is seen as, like, not that bad, because of, like, the shit we're seeing out in the bigger world. Like, you know, these things would be easier to point out and be like, hey, it's not as evil. It's not like you're not, like, Satan, but that's where the bar is. It's like, you versus Satan, how shitty are you? Dog. Oh. So I think we're all deconstructing how much this affected all the shit we saw growing up. Like, there's a lot of talk of, like, Britney Spears being mentioned in the files, and, like, I actually don't know the exact manner, but, like, obviously it's, like, she would have been, like, a victim in that situation. And I think about the media and how they talked about Britney growing up, and I love Britney Spears growing up because she's so cool. Like, she has aura. Like, how can you not like Britney Spears when you're a young woman? And I remember growing up and seeing, like, and they don't do this as much anymore. It's not as common, even though it still is present. But, like, these you know, magazines on the cover being like, Britney fat. Britney gains 10 pounds. She's fat now. And it would still be Britney Spears, like, you know, weighing like 120 instead of 99 pounds. And it's so crazy that, like, us as women, like, we just saw that every time. Like, being a kid, you know, this is how you develop the cognitive dissonance. Because I remember as a kid, like, seeing one of those type of articles about Britney Spears. And being like, you know, because I'm a kid, I just see the photo, and I'm like, oh, and Britney's in some glamour, you know, a classic Britney Spears outfit that I want to wear today. And I think, oh my god, like, she looks so cool. Like, she's so awesome, she's so pretty, look at her makeup, look at her outfit, like, she's just so cool, I love Britney Spears. And then the headline next to it saying, so fat, gained 10 pounds. And then, as a kid, you're like, but I thought she looked pretty, like, I didn't know that was ugly. And then, like, literally looking glamorous, looking cool, like, you know, when you have the low-rise jeans and you just got a little bit of the fupa out, like, that's hot, that's sexy, that is iconic. It's iconic. And it's like, as a kid, then you go, oh, I didn't know that's what being ugly is. But every man on the planet wanted Britney Spears, wanted a woman who looked like Britney Spears. Like, so it's just so fucking hypocritical. So, like, you grow up and then to realize, like, all that stuff is, and I wrote my senior thesis in high school about this, and I'm so glad that I'm telling you, back in Woke 1, when I was graduating high school, in my college level English class, I had to write a thesis, and we just had to write about pop culture, which is so vague, but girl, whatever. And so, we all had to present our thesis before we wrote it. And so I went up there and I did my presentation first because I was done first and I'm always ready. And I was arguing that sorry, I haven't thought of my high school thesis in a minute. I was writing that because large-scale media is owned by men, we see the patriarchy is inherently in every single, because the patriarchy is inherently in every single piece of media, it is because it is owned by men, and because it is owned by men who push these things onto the media, it then has now shaped our generation to have, XYZ, like, social problems. I didn't explain that very well. But I went up there and I did my whole presentation, and I was basically saying, but my thesis, like, the fact statement was the media is inherently patriarchal, therefore, like, this, and this. And then I felt bad because every single girl who did their thesis after, and, like, shout out to you queens and your level of deconstruction, but they were just trying to prove that, like, their thesis was the media is bad. And I was saying the media is bad as a fact as my opening statement. I felt it was really awkward. And I was just like, oh, cool. I was like, ooh. It was awkward. And I think everyone was kind of mad at me. I'm sure no one remembers that. But I was trying to prove, like, we behave as a society because this bad thing has been pushed on us, and they were trying to, like, convince society is bad. And then I got 99% on that paper. I got 1% taken off because it wasn't arguable enough. My English teacher was like, you, like, proved the point, like, too well, that, like, it wasn't, like, you didn't give it enough room for, like, someone to argue. And I was like, you took 1 point off because I'm too goated? Give me an extra 10%, dog. Pissed me off with that. But still love you, Mr. Duran. And Mr. Duran, that was his first year teaching. He had just got out of college, and he was doing a thing where everyone had to, every year he teaches, he wants one of his students to draw, like a tattoo idea, and then no matter like what it is, what they vote the most, he's gonna get it tattooed. And mine won, and he got a drawing. Not my actual drawing because it wasn't very good, but like my concept of a drawing, he took to a tattoo artist, or one of the students actually, and the student drew it more so, and he got it. And it was like a little book opening up with like spirals and like butterflies like and flowers coming out of it. So shout out Mr. Duran. But you should have given me an extra 10%. You shouldn't have taken 1% off because it was not arguable enough. I made my point and I clocked it T. So, but yeah, women's body dysmorphia. I think we're all really struggling because we're like, oh, so the body dysmorphia I developed as a young girl, as a child, in puberty into adulthood. I developed body dysmorphia to please pedophiles. Oh. That sucks. That fucking blows. Yeah, really fucking hate that. And it's just, the thing is, I've done a lot of work to be really confident about myself, and there's things about my body that, like, I am frustrated with, mostly the health of my body. I try to focus on just the health of my body, and I also feel like because I am so, like, thin, I often feel like I'm not allowed to speak on body dysmorphia issues, but it's like, well, I'm really thin because I have some serious body dysmorphia issues, and I feel like I have to be very, very tiny to like myself, which is very frustrating. And like, like right now, like I've kind of been going through a lot. Winter's been hard. I haven't really been in the gym like I wanted to. So it's like, I'm too thin right now. Like a wind could blow me over and it's not good. Like, girl, I had avocado toast today. It's like 2 p.m. I woke up at like 8:30. Like, it's not good. Like, that's me being candid. Like, I want to get to a place where, like, I just want my body to be strong and healthy, and I want muscle, so, like, my shoulders don't hurt, you know? And I just need to, like, what's hard about it is you have to, like, develop to make sure you're eating the right way, because a lot of us, a lot of women, too, this was also pushed on our mothers, so, like, we all develop eating disorders that our moms had, because, you know, your mom eats a certain way, so then you watch her eat growing up as a woman, and then you go, I should eat like that, you know, because it's all you know. And it's a hard thing, and I am trying to get to a point, again, where I just want to look healthy. I want to be really fit. I don't want to be muscular by any means. Like, that's just, I like being girly pop, so I just don't really want to have that type of build. But, I mean, I would like my force to have more punch if I want to punch a man in the face. But yeah, it's just like you have to get on to eating a certain way, and then there's the consistency of it, and like building that stamina to have that consistency. And the healthiest I ever was physically, which was actually like weird because it coincided with like the most mentally ill I had ever been in my life. So just a weird time, but the physically most healthy I ever was when I was doing dance, and I would love to get back to that place. But it's just, it's a long-term goal, and I'll keep y'all updated on it. But, and I'll start talking about that, like, as I'm going through it. I'm glad I'm bringing it up now, because I plan to start this journey soon. It's just been a struggle with this 2-blizzard winter. We're on our 2nd fucking blizzard this year. Like, oh my god, I've had it. Had it with the weather. I'm ready for it to be spring. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, holy chopped. That's how I feel about body dysmorphia and those fucking files, those fuck-ass files, and, oh my gosh, society, because we fucking live in one, if you ever really thought about it. You guys, you ever think about how we live in a society? Fuck me, dog. Okay, and I never did my good news. I did talk about the female athletes. That was good news. I try to start off with good news so we can start a little bit more positive. Sorry about the bitch fest, but that's where I'm at mentally, like, and I hope any of that was coherent and made sense, but, like, my brain is, like, mush. It's literal mush, and I'm trying to form sentences, but it's just, oh, gosh. Okay, the good news is the Supreme Court ruled that all of Trump's tariffs, he can't do tariffs. The president can't just declare tariffs. And so that's a huge win. The Supreme Court still sucks, but it's still a win. And Trump responded by being like, they said I can't do tariffs, so I'm going to put a 20% tariff on everything. Dog, that's not how it works. They just said you can't do tariffs, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll kneel over soon. My grandfather always says, it's great, he's always like, I hope he shits himself on live TV and then falls over. That's the last we ever hear of him. And I love that. I think we should all manifest that. My grandfather has a brilliant mind. And I love that he says brilliant things such as, I hope he shits his pants and then falls over and... It's great. It's really awesome. So that's the good news. Let's do something fun, too, before I get into my next bitch fest. So... I had to think about it. Good news is they dropped the Backrooms, like, I think the full trailer's coming, but they dropped a snippet for the trailer for the Backrooms movie, the A24 with Kane Pixels. Guys, you better be locked into this. It's coming out in May. I think it's May 28th. Guys, you have to be locked in. The way I'm gonna be seated. I'm gonna take an edible. I'm gonna see it multiple times. But the first time, I'm gonna take an edible. Okay? I'm gonna go to one of those movie theaters you can order a drink. I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna light up a little, and I'm gonna sit back in that reclined ass chair with my popcorn, with my candy, with my giant soda, and my water bottle. Okay? I'm gonna sit and be comfy. I'm gonna let that edible fucking hit, dog. Okay? I'm gonna make sure I take it at the right time, so that when it hits me, it hits during the trailers. Okay? Or, like, right as the trailers are ending, hopefully. And I'm gonna sit there, and I am gonna disassociate the fuck out. It's gonna be awesome. Guys, I love disassociating. I don't know how any of y'all feel about disassociating, but shit, dog, I love that. That shit hits! I have a problem whenever I go home to Indiana. It's a skill I learned growing up to block out Indiana. Like, culturally, like, going to school every day. Actual hell. There is so many things, so many horrors I would endure again before enduring high school. High school? Oh my god, like, someday I should be cast as Veronica Sawyer. I don't necessarily want it to be this production of Heathers going on right now. I don't even want to see it. This sounds weird. I would be in Heathers, I don't want to go watch Heathers, okay? Not because, like, I'd be unhappy that I wasn't on stage. It's that, like, during the whole show, which maybe I would be. That's a lie. But I just think that, I don't know, it's like something that I think would be cathartic to be in, but not cathartic to see. I think if I saw it, I'd be irritated. Because I'd be like, I don't want to think about that shit. But, like, acting in it, cathartic, and sort of beautiful, really. I really just think I could eat that up. But high school? Oh, I've been having nightmares about my high school theater teacher. Raise your hand, chat, if you have nightmares about your high school theater teacher. I don't know, some of y'all from high school watch this, so raise your hand if you're still having nightmares about the Megalodon. Because I sure fucking am. And yes, that's what I call her. The Megalodon. And I know some of y'all are gonna think I'm calling her fat. But I'm not, because I don't body shame women. It's just the nickname works really well if you know her. But I have nightmares about I had a nightmare about the Megalodon the last 2 nights in a row. For fucking what, dog? For what am I having nightmares about my high school theater teacher? When I have nightmares about my high school theater teacher as an almost 23-year-old woman, I get livid, dog. I get livid. And I start festering in my room. I'm like, Elekanamin, not to not in Elekanamin, Elekanamin, not to not in Elekanamin. Like, I'm about to start singing No Good Deed. Like, one question haunts and hurts too much to mention. Was I really seeking good or just seeking attention? If that's all good deeds are when looked at with an ice cold eye. If that's all good deeds are, then maybe that's the reason why no good deed goes unpunished. All helpful urges should be circumvented. No good deed goes unpunished. Well, I meant well, look at what well men did. Alright, enough so need. I'm wicked through and through since I cannot succeed. Fiero saving you, I promise no good deed will I attempt to do again, ever again. No good deed will I do again. I let it out. I needed that, dog. That one hit. That one reverberated in my brain. I do think I enjoy the sensory of singing. I love singing. Like, the sensory of singing, my whole face is just fucking vibrating right now, dog. What the helly? That's how I feel with my high school theater teacher. How did it feel to get alphabet on? Like, that's me doing my Gangnam Style emote. Like, how did it feel to get alphabet on? How does it feel to be the wizard? How does it feel to be the wizard from Wicked, Big Dog? Also, just high school theater teacher culture in general. Most of y'all suck. Either way, you're the most influential person in a kid's life. You either want to be your theater teacher and you think that they're a hero and you look up to them, or your theater teacher is the devil. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, the Megalodon, okay? That's what we call you in the streets, okay? And enjoy Andromeda. Like, enjoy my book when it comes out, okay? Well, I'm going on tour. You're churning the butter, okay? This all started because I said I love disassociating, but I would never go back to high school, because surely that's how I got through that. Surely that's why I'm writing a book now. Surely that's how I survived that. But the Backrooms gives me an excuse to disassociate in such a fun way. I just love the horror of it. Like, the horror is like, what if I'm gonna die, but also the, like, I'm trapped alone with only my own thoughts of it all. I love that with the Backrooms. Ooh, it's scary. And I like imagining I'm trapped there. When I'm stuck in Indiana and I'm not vibing, I'm immediately like, am I in the Backrooms? I must be. Let me disassociate hard fucking core right now. Jesus. Okay, speaking of Indiana, we'll go into this next point and topic. I've decided I'm gonna stop kind of going in order. I like write on my little notes for myself, like, in order, and I think that's been killing the pod. I think that doesn't go with the flow of the conversation, so, like, I'm writing my notes out about what I want to talk about, and then I'm gonna look at it and go, how does that connect to my last point? We're gonna swerve that way. So, speaking about being home, I want to talk about the social suicide I've been committing since I was, like, 16. Which goes right into high school theater, so see this all weave together. Because I feel like when I was, like, 16, my high school theater teacher, she was actually the devil incarnate. Like, she is the worst person I've ever had the displeasure of meeting. And there's no one in my life that I hate and resent more than the Megalodon. And the Megalodon, she was like walking evil. She really was. And she basically, like, pushed me to my limit and then caused me to have, like, one of my biggest crash outs of my life, in which, like, basically, like, I sort of committed, like, social suicide. It was dumb, because it was literally dumb. Like, I posted a meme about her, and then she really wanted to have it out with me, and she like, pulled me into an officer meeting. I didn't even go to school that day, because I literally was feeling physically ill from being like, this is gonna get back to her, and being like, deadass, I don't care. I'm like, let it get back to her. I hate this bitch. And I was ready to tell it to her face, okay? And so then, but I hadn't fully, like, deprogrammed the cult of it all, because, oh my god, it was a cult, dog. And she was like, I remember her hitting me within the meeting where she was trying to kick me out of the apartment. That's what she was gonna do. She was gonna kick me out. Because she was, you know, she was the gangster, she was the mafia boss, and, like, nobody was gonna disrespect daddy. Like, that was, you know, like, she was Mama Morton from Chicago. And, right, is that her name in Chicago? Anyways, yeah, but she's like, when you're good to mama, mama's good to you. That's pretty much the vibe. And so, she pretty much was, I mean, she was gonna kick me out. And so I didn't let her have that. And she hit me with, I don't feel like you want to be here anymore. And I remember I looked at her, and I sat up straight. I remember sitting up straight being like, you're right, I don't. And I was like, I don't like the way you treat people. I don't like the way things are run. I'm consistently disrespected. I don't want to be here. Like, you're right. Like, I'm going to go. Like, I'm going to take my exit here. Like, I'm good with that. And I just remember, guys, for those of you who know this person, like, not me crying, but when I'm literally Elphaba. When I'm going to get my Elphaba doll. You're coming down here, bitch. She coming right here. Like, guys, my deep love of Elphaba. I'm going to set her here. I'm not going to hold her, because that'd be weird. Guys, it was like, it really, like, as a theater kid, it really felt like that moment when she's like, and nobody in all of Oz no wizard that there is or was. I'm not gonna sing it, because I already sang No Good Deed. But, like, as a theater kid, like, I really had that moment. Like, I had that moment, and I was like, I just remember the air being sucked out of the room, and her not expecting me to be like, no, I don't want to be here, because I don't like how you treat people, and, like, I think you're a bad person. And, like, that was the moment, like, I became myself. You know, like, that's the moment that Elphaba turns into the Wicked Witch. And it's, like, it was social suicide. Like, everyone then, nobody wanted to be associated with me because they didn't want to piss off her. So I lost all my friends. And then I developed this new friend group that was a bunch of piece of shit. Like, you know, then it was, like, who are the bad kids that Brinley's hanging out with now? Like, she's had to turn to, like, a life of, like, you know, like, less thanness, because they were all Christian too, so then she's like, she's smoking weed, she's kissing boys, oh Lord, she's turned to a life of sin ever since leaving the theater department, because also all the theater was tied into the church. I'm gonna have it out with the evangelical church here too, like, and because when I was 16, I literally, but it was the most liberated I ever felt my whole life. I was so happy that I did it. I was so liberated by the freedom it gave me to be like, the freedom of being like, fuck you, was worth everything. And not groveling anymore. Like, because a Megalodon would make you beg for your life. She really would. Like, it was such a nightmare situation. And, like, I'm always, trust I'm gonna say on the Megalodon's neck. Trust, okay? I'm not letting that shit go. You know me, I'm never gonna let something go. Double Aries Cancer Moon. I never get over anything, and you all are gonna get your dues. Okay? So, my whole point is, I committed social suicide when I was very young. And because of that, I'm just not afraid of, like, being canceled. I'm using air quotes if you're not watching the video. I'm not afraid of being canceled now. Like, I don't care. Like, I have a lot of people right now who are like, you're getting so political online. Like, aren't you scared? Bro, they came for me before, you can come for me again. It was like, I went through that with my high school theater teacher. I went through that with my friend group who I became friends with after that. I had this one girl in college who was literally, like, a black hole of a person, and she also tried to, like, have me canceled among that group of people because I stood up to her. No one else wanted to stand up to her. She was a bully, but I was like, and you're one of the worst people I've ever met. And so then she was like, I'm gonna make it super awkward for you to interact with everyone. And I was like, okay, girl, that's fine. Like, I'm just not scared of being the person in the room to say what needs to be said. I'm used to it. I'm really used to it. So that's all to say, I'm not really scared about what I'm saying online. Because I would say this in real life if anyone asked me. I'm unapologetically myself. I'm always going to be myself. And there's nothing that anyone can stop me from authentically being myself and continuously saying what I believe in, because I believe my moral stance, like, to hold the moral stance that I have, you have to be able to say it out loud. And if you can't proudly stand on what your morals are, maybe you need to think about your morals, you know? And that's not going out to the audience, but that's, you know, I want you to reiterate that to the people in your lives. You know, if you don't want to stand on business, then you don't mean business. That's how I feel. So that's something else I've been thinking about. Yeah, just standing on business and being myself. Yeah. So, that's that. Ba ba ba. Ba ba ba. Okay. So I'm gonna keep bitching, and then we're gonna go into a fun topic at the end, and then we'll do some inspiration, and then we'll close it out for the week. How does that sound, ladies? Girls, gays, and theys, you know? So, something I've been dealing with recently. Well, number one, I'm going to go off of standing on business. What I was just saying. Standing on business. I recently had some boy child who harasses all my friends all the time because he's a coworker of theirs. I had to interact with him at a party, and he very obviously is into my best friend, and he's always hitting on her, and I find it embarrassing, and I don't want to see some man that, like, you know, isn't my best friend's boyfriend. I don't hit on my best friend in front of me. So I very much was like, you know, I had to whip Regina George out. I had to whip that face out. I was just pretty much like, what do you think you're doing? And then, whatever, I scared him off because that was my intention. I was doing that to you on purpose because you were being a freak, Bob, okay? Like, you know she's not interested in you. Let's wrap it up, okay? And so then this boy child has the audacity to go to my friends and be like, Brinly was mean to me. Ooh. Maybe, and say it to one of my friends. And then my friend, I don't remember exactly what she said to him, but she hit him with, like, that's tough. Like, you know, like, I don't know, anytime a man bitches about me. A man, if you're a man, you shouldn't come for me. It just never is gonna go well for you. You're just, because I stand on business, okay? So, that's just a little side tangent before I go into the thing I'm going into. But, yeah, like, if you're a man, and, like, you have politically correct values, because there's men out there with, like, politically correct values, but absolutely no charisma and no ability to talk to women, and so when they talk to them, they're really just ending up harassing them, because women are not enjoying to talk to you. I'm gonna give you a little tip. Like, I'm gonna throw you a life ring, even though I shouldn't, and you better take it, or you're gonna keep drowning. Listen, if you're like, if you think like you're a nice guy, I'm just a nice guy to women, but you're a walking ChatGPT talk bot, okay? Like, listen, I'm going to explain why women don't want to date you. Women don't want to date you because you don't know how to talk to them. You sound like you are going through a list of 50 questions to ask on a first date. What I want you to do, okay, is I want you to go online. I want your Instagram Reels to become fashion TikTok, okay, for men. Like, I need you to follow some queer men, okay? Like, some men with real fashion and taste, and I want you to scroll, and I want you to figure that out, okay? And then I want you to get a hobby, a real hobby that you're actually interested in. I don't care how weird or nerdy it is, okay? My boyfriend, he collects coins. You know, I never really thought about coins, ever before him. I just didn't really think about it. But now he explains coins to me and the history behind coins, and I go, actually, coins are really cool. Coins are really interesting. Like, coins are fascinating. Now I think coins are cool, okay? And as men, if you have a good taste of fashion, if you're funny, so also start watching some good comedy. Watch some gay comedy as well. Start learning the skill of being funny, okay? And stop trying to force jokes, because you're just making women uncomfortable. Learn to be funny, okay? Learn to dress, okay? And then get a real hobby. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how nerdy it is, okay? But if you get a real hobby, I don't care if it's building keyboards. You know, you might think, well, girls will think building keyboards is lame. No, if you're passionate about it, we care about your passion. And because women are empathetic, we will take interest if you're showing real and true passion. I don't care how lame it is. I don't care if it's collecting trains. I don't care if it's... My boyfriend also does this bird photography. Never really thought about birds before. Never really thought about them. Now I know a lot about birds, and I think birds are pretty cool, okay? So, like, things that women, you know, you think women aren't gonna like these weird, niche, nerdy things. Women love when men are passionate about a nerdy thing. Do that, okay? Then, when you meet a girl and you're face-to-face with her, you're like, hi, nice to meet you. We trade names, okay? And then when she's like, oh, like, what are you into? Talk about the thing you're passionate about, and that's how you get women interested in you, okay? And then in general, don't treat them like they're some out-of-reach object. When you pedestalize, like, you should pedestalize women, and you should respect them, like, and know that, like, you better be willing to work your ass off to, you know, add value to a woman's life. Otherwise, like, if you can't add anything of value, like, the same way, like, in a relationship, like, you shouldn't be with somebody who only drains you, okay? I think a lot of men don't understand that. Like, men are so desperate, they'll take anything. You need to not be desperate. You need to go, I want somebody who can match my energy, okay? And then you have to have a woman want, you know, you have to match her energy in her life, okay? Because a woman's doing a lot. So they're only going to make time and space for you if you can add something to their life. The same way you should, like, men are so desperate, they don't care. They're like, I'll take anything. I'll take anything. God. So don't just take anything. Learn to be picky. Learn to like a person first. Learn how to have the real conversation where you feel seen, and then ask a girl out. It's annoying because I'm like, wow, these are really basic social cues, but men just don't get it. So that was me throwing you a lifeline in case this gets back to you, and then any of my friends in real life are like, Brinly, we all know who you're talking about, and that's kind of mean. You guys know me. I would say this to this person's face. I would say it to your guys' face. I'm not hiding anything for anyone, okay? Like, I'm at a point in my life where I do not care. And if someone is being a freak to the women in my life, because this person also is being a freak to, like, some ladies that I don't even know really well. I know they're friends with my friends. And so, if you're a girl and you're friends with my friends, I'm going to protect you just as much as I'm going to protect my own friends. Because I know you're important to the women in my life, and I know that they wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you. So, I would do it for any woman under any circumstance, but, like, I have a lot of loyalty to you, even if I don't see you regularly, I don't talk to you regularly, like, no, I'm here for you. And if there's a man being a freak in your life, like, I'll clock him, even if I don't know you that well. Like, I got you, girl. Like, when I say I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl's girl. So I gossip with the girlies, even if I don't really know them, I'm always gonna help them out and look out for them, okay? So that's me. Actually, going into my next segment, something I want to talk about is talking about women I actually have a problem with. And this is great because I was just saying how, like, again, I never hate a woman enough to want anything bad to happen to her other than, like, the karma that she's owed from being a bad person. Always gonna support women, always want what's best for women, but I just recently, with some experiences I've had, am really kind of sick of the fake bitches. Because I love women, so then I will tend to overlook sometimes when they have red flags and just let it go. And then once they finally do the thing that I expect them to do, I'm just like, oh, God, I want you to be cool and I want to like you. I need you to not suck. And I just recently have been dealing with a lot of, like, pick-me women. There's always that one friend, like, girl that you'll become friends with. When you're a hyper-empathetic person, you'll always become friends with this one person. The person who, like, makes you feel bad for them and shares their like, trauma dumps you upon first meeting them. And you're just like, you know, and, like, they don't have any friends, and they point-blank tell you, like, oh, like, thank you for, like, you know, letting me talk about that. Like, usually people, like, they don't let me talk about this, like, because they get annoyed. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like, no, like, I'm so glad, like, I could be there for you and do that for you. Like, of course, because you're hyper empathetic. And then they take it way too far, and then they start treating you like their therapist, and then within a month of knowing them, they're like, you're my best friend. And then you're like, oh, holy shit, like, ooh, that's a huge responsibility. But then you feel so bad that they don't have any close friends, so you're like, well, like, they need a best friend, like, I want to be that friend for them. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Oh my God, like, they are using you, and this is a cycle that they're in, and as soon as you finally learn boundaries with this person, they're gonna find someone else and do the same thing to them, and they don't have the ability to make real human connection, and so they're gonna force it out of you or anyone else who will let them. It's so exhausting, and then they make you feel like shit when, like, you can't listen to their problems and be their therapist all the time. And also, you'll give them advice. They'll be like, I have this problem, and you try to be encouraging, and I'm like, well, you could do X, Y, and Z to, like, fix it. And, like, you know, if you have a positive mindset, like, keep working on it, like, you know, like, you'll make it. And then they're always like, no, it doesn't work for me. Like, it works. They turn into the fucking kid on the Polar Express. Billy. They turn into Billy. They're just like, Christmas doesn't ever work out for me. That's them. They'll be like, I just, like, you know, like, I can't go to the gym because of X, Y, and Z reason. And you're like, yeah, I really get it. I struggle to go to the gym too. But maybe you could do, like, these exercises and they're just easier, and at least you're there, and then build your way up to doing it. Like, that's usually when I'm trying to get back in the gym, that's what I do. And they're like, no, that wouldn't work for me because I have asthma, so I'll just never work out at all, ever. Like, I won't even ever try. Like, I'll just be fat and disgusting. And then you're, like, they literally say that. Like, that wasn't a bit. Like, that's literally how these type of people will talk to you, and you're like, okay, well, I guess just suffer then. And then you start, like, trying to create distance with them, because even these people, like, I had someone like this in my life, and I literally said to them, I was like, hey, like, I care about you, I want what's best for you, but, like, I just, like, you can't only speak about yourself. Like, sometimes you have to, like, let other people speak. It just feels like you don't even care about me at all, but then you want me to be, like, you know, endlessly involved in your life. And then this person be like, yeah, like, I get it. It's just really hard because of X, Y, and Z reason. And I'm like, yeah, okay, like, I get that. I get that it's hard for those reasons, but, like, also, like, if you want to have connections with people, you just can't behave like this. Like, I point blank said this to this person in my life. And then it turned out, like, a couple months later, like, I haven't talked to this person in months because all of a sudden they just stopped speaking to me, and I was like, well, okay, bye. And, then I met someone who knows them, and then they had just, like, taken over the role that I had been playing in this person's life, and I was like, oh my god, these people just, like, this endless cycle of doing this, like, it's crazy that they'll just, like, chew off anyone's ear who will lend it to them, like, holy shit. And so it's just, like, that type of behavior, like, if someone is endlessly negative, and it's, like, nothing ever works out for me, and, like, doubles, triples, quadruples down on that nothing ever works out for them, they're right, they don't try. So stop pouring into their cup, because they literally, you pour into their cup, they look at you, and then they pour it out in front of you. Like, they're so disrespectful. Like, I hate people who play in my face like that. So there's that type of person that I'm sick of when it comes to women. But then also, I'm really sick of, like, there's women that I know who, like, really want to be like other women. Like, there's this girl that I know who, she's, like, best friends with this other girl, and she literally wants to be this other girl so bad. Like, she's so envious of her, but at the same time puts this person down. And I'm fucking sick of women like that. Like, women who want to act like your best friend, but secretly they just want to be you and are jealous of you and want to do better than you and are jealous of your success. Like, those women are really good at pretending to be your friends because they basically love bomb you all the time because they wish they fucking were you. But then the second it actually comes to rely on them, they're selfish bitches. And I'm really fucking sick of that behavior. It's like, it's always these boring ass girls who want to pretend like they have a personality, so they steal the personality of their closest friend and then get mad at their closest friend when they're more successful than them, when they're just trying to be a cheap carbon copy of their friend. Hate that shit. It's boring. It's like, I want what's best for you, girly pops. Like, I do, and you're not as bad as the first type of girly pop I'm talking about, but, like, it's not cool. Like, and you're kind of selfish. And I find it really exhausting. So there's a couple of girly pops who, like, in my life recently, I've been real sick of, and I'm not gonna clock them because women are on their own journeys, and my own life is too chaotic right now that I'm just like, it's not a battle I'm picking at the moment, but wishing y'all luck out there. That's my, see, I can complain about women, but it's mostly like men do all those things all the time. So, still more mad at men, obviously. Okay. Ba-ba-ba-ba. You take a little break, like, my voice is tired. I'm like, god damn. Okay. What I'm really happy about right now is that every time I walk into a store, you know what I hear? Taylor Allison Swift. Every time. Reese and I, we were out shopping the other day. We were bopping in and out of stores in this kind of one busy area. And every time we walked into a store, I heard a different Taylor Swift song. And Taylor's whole point of, like, writing the The Life of a Showgirl is that she was saying she was saying I want another 1989 moment. And this is the first time since 1989 she's had 2 number 1 hits singles from an album. Even though 1989 had like 5, which is crazy. And I just think The Life of a Showgirl, like, it's gonna continue to reign supreme, and I'm sorry, if you didn't get Life of a Showgirl, like, I'm sorry that your life sucks so bad that, like, you didn't get Life of a Showgirl, like, ooh, that's tough, girly pop, like, that's real tough, ain't it? That sucks that you don't get to listen to Life of a Showgirl and boogie out, like, there's maybe, like, 2 tracks on Life of a Showgirl, I'm like, I'm just not really interested in listening to these, but, like, they're still not the worst songs in her discography. And I love that we're living in, just in time for Woke 2, we have 1989 2.0 in the form of The Life of a Showgirl, and I love that she's reigning like this again, and every time I walk into a store, I hear a different Life of a Showgirl song, or a Torture Poets Apartment song. I was out in public, I heard Down Bad. I was like, what the hell, you Down Bad crying at the gym? Like, okay, you were out in public, but I didn't know you guys knew this one like I did. That's crazy. Actually, that was one of her most popular from that album. Huh? But something crashed out there. Something's always crashing out there. It's ridiculous. It's just so nice to be living in Woke 2 with the return of 1989 in the form of The Life of a Showgirl, and I'm happy to live in Taylor Allison Swift's world. She's getting married this summer, guys. I'm not ready for those photos. I'm not. Like, she's gonna get married. She's gonna go on her honeymoon. After that, Taylor's gonna be like, okay, time to get back to work. Like, and she's gonna go out there, and I just know that she's scheming on something. I know that she's scheming on something, and I'm ready for it. Like, are you ready for it? Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping, well, I do think that we're going to be getting this year, we're going to be getting the Volt tracks for Rep. I think we'll get the Volt tracks for Rep. I don't think we'll get a re-recording of Rep, but I think we'll get the Volt tracks. And then she said she's re-recorded Debut, so I think we'll get Debut re-recorded. I mean, all the Barrette clips in Opalite music video, we're gonna get Debut this year. I would expect it to be after her wedding, but also for her to, like, re-release Debut when she's being put in the Writers Hall of Fame while she's getting married. Like, it's enough to make me want to sob. Like, I love to see my girly win, my number 1 girly. I love to see her win, and I love Taylor Swift. And fuck y'all for not liking Taylor Swift, any of you. I'm sorry you've never felt an emotion in your whole life. Ugh. So that's that. And now we're at the end of our show, guys. But motivation for the week. Okay. I didn't write anything. I was like, I'm gonna spitball. Motivation for the week. What am I using to motivate myself to get through this week? Spring will be soon. Our brains are frozen right now. Let's just all accept that our brains are frozen. They are popsicles right now. But they are defrosting every day. And soon we'll all have working brains again. We'll be able to go outside again. And when that happens, I feel a lot of change coming this spring. Lean into the change that we're feeling. Continuously lean into this change. That's my advice and my inspiration and motivation for you for the week. We are all going through massive change energy, okay? We need to lean into it, lean into the change. Continue to push into the change and allow things to change, because you will thank yourself come spring, okay? So if things feel like they're burning down right now and things are changing rapidly, like, lean into it and change with it, and you will be very grateful. Okay, my voice is tired because I've been screaming this entire episode, like actually screaming, and I know I'm gonna have to go in and edit these sound clips so freaking bad. It's such a nightmare. I'm a nightmare, and I've had it with me. Anyways, no I haven't. I'm iconic and I'm great. And I'm Brinly, and I'm your host of the Yapathon. I am going to Kentucky next week for my boyfriend's cousin, essentially, like, family friend cousin's baby shower. So, this video was recorded ahead of time. Hopefully no crazy world news has happened, and then you're like, how did Brinly not mention that it happened? Let's hope. Anyways, I'm Brinly. I'm your host. This was the Yapathon. Like and subscribe, guys. It really helps out the channel. Stupid. Anyways, bye, guys. Have a good week.